I'm going, Tom, I did want to just point out that our show is of legal age now. It's its 21st birthday with issue 21, so affectionately I'm going to be drinking a little bit of UV cake, which is very interesting, thanks to our cameraman, Mr. Skyler. But here's your comic book look, and Tom and Skyler and Jenna on the couch.
And I like to subscribe to the notion that I'm more international, so 21 is not a law that I abide by any means. I abide by international law of 16 to 18 or whenever you feel like the person is old enough to consume alcohol. So, sorry John, I don't give a shit. I've been drinking since issue
I just wanted to make something clever.
15. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry to put you down. I'm going to taste your UV cake.
Yeah, I worked hard on it, so I slaved in the kitchen on this one.
It smells like confetti.
Goldfish over here. Welcome to a comic book look, issue 21, cheers, yay. We are your weekly comic book show. We talk about comic books, anything in the industry related to comics. You want it, you got it. I'm John, aka the 605 April O'Neil with the beard so chic, so fresh. We got Tom over here, aka Highlander, straight up ponytail gangster. There can be only one and there only is one. So, welcome to a comic book look.
I'm giving up my rights to do intros ever on our show. Dude, yes! Oh, wow, what do I even say to that? Alright, guys, well, thanks for coming and watching our show again. This is a comic book look, issue 21, and we got a fun show for you. John called me tonight, and because we just, never really plan things out, and he told me, well, I got a really good topic. Oh, yeah. Like another great topic. Here we go, John. What are we talking about?
You want me to say it?
Yeah.
Oh, alright. Tonight we're actually talking about, now remember, this is another sensitive topic show, but our last one did really well.
And which
we did
explain what that is.
We did religion on issue 12, so if you want to check that out, please do. It's a great episode. It got a lot of great feedback. We were both surprised, actually.
You called it a sensitive feedback? Or
sensitive topic, because
nice, yep.
Some people might, take it.
I love
this is along kind of the same lines. We actually wanted to discuss racism in comics and, kind of some of those themes that we're encountering in the stuff that we're reading or have read and so forth on there. So this is kind of one of those shows on there, but and it's something where we want to hear back from you guys, and we'll ask you throughout the show some questions and kind of just see where everybody's at. But definitely,
yeah. John brought it up, and you know what it is. It's a touchy subject, and there's a lot to be said for for racism in comics. It's a predominantly, most superheroes, all the main ones, are going to be white males, not very diverse at all. That's the cliche, big white male that's perfect, and, and so, yeah, I mean, when John told me that we were going to do it on racism, I was like, I have plenty to talk about. I mean, I've read a few different articles on it. I mean, it's been a subject that's came up in comics before. Comics Alliance had a really great article about a year ago. It's something that we always talk about on InveterateMediaJunkies.com. So it is something that I'm, fairly familiar with, the topics that I feel, that I'd like to discuss with it. So, I mean, I was like, hey, let's do it. We're counting it good. We lit a candle for this episode because my friend just had a baby, and it's a perfect time for talk about racism. All right, John, what spurred you to want to do the show today?
Absolutely. Well, Black Friday was very kind of me, and it wasn't for Tom, so I kind of have to sweep my stack under the rug. But I got a ton of Uncanny X-Men back stock, and we're talking, back in the 190. Ish range, and it was actually issue 197 or 198 that I was reading, And I was just, sitting there reading it, and Shadowcat's talking to this, African American guy, and he goes, "Aren't you a mutie?" And she goes, "Well, aren't you the N-word?" And I just stopped. It was just like, back up, read that pain again. That's, spelled out and everything. To me, it was really forward as a reader. We've read other literature, like indie books and stuff that maybe, touch upon that, but you've never really seen that. I've never seen it in a Marvel book, I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, and when that's from, I mean, that was that's
I went back, but
198, so
yeah, so it was just like,
or something like that.
Wow, but so I was
that's
like,
cool.
well, I'm kind of wondering like how this has been approached. I'm obviously, I'm 26 years old, so, I mean, I was growing up when these books were coming out. I'm not as familiar with that time period as maybe some of you readers are that have more literature or lived during that time even, but for me, I'm just kind of curious as to, how that time period was in comics, and that's kind of why I wanted to propose that question this evening. Think of this as a video essay.
Well, there you go.
That you all get to help us out with. But I was just kind of curious. Yeah.
Well, cool. I mean, it is, you do like to do these subjects, your religion, and
I thought it went well.
I said, what are we going to do next? Abortion in 5 shows? Because hopefully we can figure out a whole show about that.
Yeah.
But anyway, racism, it plays a part in comics for a lot of different parts, I mean, in DC, they, caught a lot of backlash and kind of getting rid of their characters that were minorities, it almost seemed like. I think the term I've heard is regressive storytelling, where they go back, instead of looking at what's next or what's coming next for the next story that we should find out and where we should take the character, they're always looking to the past to go back and bring it to current. And so in that term, you had a really cool character in Ryan Choi for the Atom, who's Asian. He's a really cool character. He's just starting to kind of make his place in the DCU, and he gets killed off, and to have the old Atom come back, and Jaime Reyes, Blue Beetle. There's another minority character, as everybody knows, one of my favorites, and he has been fighting to have his own title, and he gets his own title, and it's not very good. I dropped it, so I don't know.
1 or 2.
I dropped it after 1.
Yeah,
and
that sucks. 1 was pretty bad though.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. I didn't have. I don't have enough money to spend on these comics that I need to. That when there's so many good indies coming out. Yeah. But I want that so bad. They don't. Almost seems like they don't give him a good enough chance to put a great writer and a great artist together with a good game plan on what's going to happen. And there's always been black characters, white characters, Asian characters, Latino characters in all comics. I mean, they've been around, but it's just predominantly white. And so coming in and having the racism be a topic is something that it can be touchy, it can be, cause, a big deal back in like the 70s when Green Lantern and Green Arrow had their own series together, and Green Arrow had to show Green Lantern, what it's like to be on the streets, he's fighting aliens in blue skin, what about the black guys? I mean, that's like the most famous panel or whatever. So it's played a part, but still, I don't think the industry as a whole has taken it to heart and gotten our superheroes to be, very, diverse, to have, an equal number of, or not even equal number, just like to have a vast array of different, kind of characters. And it's not to say that they don't try and they don't do it sometimes, because they do. I mean, we can go off and name plenty, but a lot of times there's not probably enough, or they don't play enough important roles, or they just don't give them their own books, and sometimes that can be a downside. Black Panther just got canceled,
Yeah.
Weak.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think it's a good topic to talk about for sure.
Definitely. Something that happened recently that did come to mind. I was thinking about this kind of earlier at work too. before I called Tom, and I just actually read Avengers Academy, and they had those two members added, the White Tiger and then the Power Pack gal. But the White Tiger is actually a Latina superhero, heroine, whatever.
Nice.
And she and Reptile got into it because he's also Latino. So he was just like, you're making us look bad because your brother was the real White Tiger and so forth. And just those two just had a big spit fest about it. And that's kind of interesting because I don't know of many Latino superheroes. I mean, like, I'm thinking like Richter from X-Force.
Yeah,
about
Bane
I mean,
from Batman.
I just...
Yeah, I mean, there's...
You know, like, these are communities I think that it'd be cool to...
Or Sunfire.
Yeah. You know, I would definitely love to see like an explosion of more of them, and some of those younger kids, and it's so funny too. I didn't know this. The kids in the X-Men series, you know, like the young X-Men and stuff. There's these tensions with the Avengers Academy because Avengers Academy are pretty much all human, or you know, just weird powers or whatever. You know, and they're all mutants, and so it's like they almost don't get along. Some too, like
nice,
they touched on that a little bit. So that's and I mean that's not ethnicity necessarily, but it is a race, being a mutant.
Exactly.
Versus you know. So
well, that's the main analogy.
Good.
I mean, that's always been the main analogy for mutants is, you know, to single out, you know, the minorities, whether it be, you know, black, white, Latino, gay, lesbian. You know, that's what it was. You know, somewhere where you could look and say mutants are different, but they're awesome. You know, and so that's where you can relate to that character. Or not even any of that. I mean, you could just be, you know, the guy who maybe doesn't have a bunch of friends or something. It's kind of the lone guy. Yeah. And you can still relate to X-Men a lot in that way. And that's why probably it's had so many fans and still sticks around for so long and resonates so much. I mean, I don't even know if I fit into any of those categories, but I still love X-Men because I just feel like, you know, it does show that, you know, that analogy is just so perfect of the rest of the world against mutants because they're scared for no apparent reason. And, I mean, mutants, I guess, give a little bit better reason, since they're, you know, can kill, everybody can just kill. Yeah. But, you know, I think also Marvel does a lot better job dealing with, you know, different races and having a very diverse cast compared to DC, where DC does the regressive, you know, storytelling, like, you know, those articles that I've read have talked about. You know, Marvel... Ultimate Spider-Man is like half black and half Hispanic, you know? I mean, that's awesome.
Yeah. And it's a bold jump from
and it's not you know, like Avengers Academy, you know, it's a mixed crew, and their villains are diverse, and so yeah, while most of the time it's, you know, white guys and, you know, spandex doing it, there's still plenty of, you know, great diverse you know, characters out there. Yeah. And, you know, I think right now, I mean, we're totally talking strictly superhero comics, main big two, DC and Marvel. You know, because I don't think that...
I think indie comics definitely push the ticket more. Yeah. And they can do a good job if the author really goes for it, you know.
And because racism is, you know, something that in indie comics, it just doesn't matter. I mean, there's, you know...
They pick a topic and they run with it.
Exactly. And they, cool. I guess there's huge, you know, points at racism in indie comics, but like Skell, obviously about Native Americans, and it's become such a great comics, you know, legendary run where, you know, it's still it bases a lot of, you know, negatively, and it, you know, it's a raw look at, you know, Native Americans and Indians, and, you know, what's going on, how bad it can be, and how good it can be, and, you know, the choices that people can make, and the choices that they're dealt with compared to other people. I mean, it's a harsh look, and that's what makes it so good. And so, you know, there's ways that you could look at racism in comics and then just make it, you know, really a strong story around it, and make you really care for those characters and see what they have to go through. And, you know, so it can also drive storytelling, I think, in a way that, you know, makes comics better, you know, in some ways.
Yeah, it's basically, and I stand by kind of what I said on the religion episode too, is this is a relevant issue out there for various groups and walks of life. And I think that it's so important that we tap into things that our readers can identify with, and that's what really pulls people in and draws them in to get in to know the characters or getting familiar with the stories and so forth. I just think that's so key, and I think that a lot, some of those emerging Marvel titles, indie titles, DC's picking up a little bit, here and there. I think people are starting to get with the picture.
Static X. I mean, but also I forgot what I was gonna say. Darn it. But anyway.
That's okay.
Yeah. What do you know?
No problem. I guess another thing too, we had touched on this a little bit, was Marvel just had the Lame Itself 7-book series.
Lame Itself?
Fear Itself, for those that are concerned. But there is a huge kind of a Nazi presence in there, kind of a thing.
Sure.
So another kind of risque move, swastikas everywhere, and it was just kind of, it's kind of a,
Well, I think,
and that's something where to me it's still a powerful topic. I mean, I never will see the insignificance of that, because it's so potent. It's a potent part of our history. That it's always going to be there. So when you put it into a story, and I'm not saying it's bad that they did it, I'm just saying it's bold. It just came out of nowhere. So
it also came out of nowhere, but also, Nazis in comic books are the ultimate evil.
Captain America.
No matter what you do, if there's going to be a book, it seems like American Vampire, Thunderbolts. I mean, everybody tries to bring in Nazis, because Nazis, you can do anything to Nazis.
Yeah.
Because everybody wants Nazis to die and get hurt and be lame and, and be stupid and be tricked into getting trapped. I mean, that's what you want to see. So Nazis are the ultimate bad guy, because you don't have to worry about, pissing somebody off and being like, those guys are treating those Nazis wrong, because you can automatically make them. So I love seeing Nazis in comics, and it happens. It seriously happens all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, even in indie books, I mean, constantly, it's Nazis are the bad guys. I mean, because they make the best bad guys in comics ever. Red Skull in Captain America, he's part of the Nazi party, and American Vampire in World War II, they're working with against Nazis, and I don't know, you can just go through a bunch of different books, and there's always seems to be some people who, are just crazy Nazis, and then they always get fucked up, and I love it.
No.
So yeah, I totally agree that it is super bold, because it's a huge subject that is horrible. I mean, the things that happened during World War II and the Holocaust, I mean, it's unreal what the Nazis did. And that's why there's, make such a good bad guy to be, because everybody still remembers the reality of the situation. And so, yeah, it is super bold. But I personally love seeing Nazis in my comics as bad guys. And I just get enjoyment out of Nazis getting their asses kicked. I don't know. I like seeing it.
Yeah.
It's fun. Who doesn't?
I don't know if I enjoy seeing anybody get their ass kicked, but it's something where I
you
recognize...
read superhero comics, of course.
Well, you know what I mean, though. Like in real life,
in real life, we're talking comics.
I know. For comics, I like seeing the good guys.
I'm gonna kick you. I'm gonna kick your ass in real life.
I like the Dark Avengers. But they're more of an awesome party. So.
You see, you're so gentle and kind in real life, and I mean, Kuru just has this idea. You just have your house was full of knives and traps.
You've seen my house.
And Dark Avengers
posters and
Sinister
frames.
Spider-Man.
Lol. Anyways, that's enough about my Lair of Doom.
One day we're gonna shoot a show at John's house.
And you're gonna be terrified.
No. I'm going to call it right now. I mean, this came out of nowhere. We haven't talked about it, but since we're calling it, we have to do it sometime. Special show at John's house.
Oh, man. It'll be amazing.
It will be. Oh, yeah, man. So what's up with reading anything good lately?
Anything good lately?
Let's get away from racism.
I know. I just wanted to address it a little bit, but my main thing was that's kind of what we had to say on it. But we're kind of curious as to what you guys have to say. And if there are any prominent moments, like you're just like, it's an OMG frame that you need to share, please do. If there's a picture, send it to us. Or post it somewhere and show us. Or join our Facebook group and post it. But we definitely just, that's something that I was wondering about. I presented it to Tom, and, we both agreed that it's kind of an interesting topic. But yeah, let's stray.
And also, I learned that I can, in the message below YouTube, I can, put links.
Oh, nice.
So I haven't been doing that ever. So I'm going to do that. So I'll put a link to our Facebook, and I'll always put a link to our email, because it's just silly that I always never write that down. And so I'm going to go back and try to change those if I get time, You know, it goes, boys.
It's all good. That's 20 episodes.
Exactly.
But, my stack today, 2 issues. Thunderbolts 166.
DC didn't put out any of their new 52 books.
Nothing.
That's unreal. I mean, you would think that DC
would have something.
Would have to put out something. I mean, they did. I mean, they did Thunder Agents, and which I didn't pick up. I was going to, but I just didn't. Because whatever, I can skip this one. It's not going to kill me to skip this one. Maybe I'll go back and read it sometime, because I do like Nick Spencer, and his Thunder Agents got a little weak for a little while, but I did end up liking how it ended.
The wall, they filled it with previews and stuff. It was preview. I'm like,
they had action figures, calendars. I was like, Jesus Christ, what are you slanging on the new stuff this week?
But I wasn't there. They were like, yeah. And then, John goes, sorry, we didn't get Wolverine, and I know that's when I'm like, no, I fell off of that a few issues ago. And then Brian's like, I'm so proud of you. And I'm like, I know. But I got I also I picked up Thunderbolts 166, and that's a pretty good read. More historic Thunderbolts. Now they're in England.
Nice.
And Hyde is going crazy with Santana disguising their trail, so he's like the Ripper going around killing prostitutes. And the rest of the Thunderbolts that ran away from the other Thunderbolts are tracking them down. And then the remainder Thunderbolts in the present are trying to come back through time to find them, tracking them through Troll's axe, because she has an Asgardian weapon.
God, dude, I'm just so mad that I got that issue, but my comic shop sold out of Thunderbolts, and they didn't get another one for me yet.
165?
Whatever the one before, so just bring it in, dude, because bring it over. I need to have it. I can't believe that.
So it's a good read. I picked up Uncanny number 2.
Imagine that. I was talking about Thunderbolts, like always. We love it.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, it's great. It's the best. It's my favorite ongoing title at Marvel.
Yeah, I don't blame you, because Uncanny's dead now. So,
yeah,
but Uncanny 2, it looks interesting. It's a whole lot of Sinister. Haven't read it yet.
Well, I think that Wolverine and the X-Men looks pretty kind of cool.
Yeah, no, I'm enjoying that one so far.
I heard it's kind of different and stuff. So maybe I'll read some of those of yours too.
It is. Yeah, no, whatever you want.
Word up. Well, thanks, guys.
What about you?
Oh, I'm not reading anything good. Let's end this fucking dumb show.
Why?
I'm just kidding. Oh. No, we what? We're good to go, aren't we, guys?
I guess.
What do you want to hear, John?
I just want to hear what you've been reading.
Okay. I say that because I haven't read anything recently. I missed Black Friday.
Are you better or
I am. Black Friday is you get half off of books, even new ones. Normally, they're open till 8 o'clock. Well, the reason they're open till 8 o'clock is they have, Hero Clicks. I didn't know that, okay? I just think they're open till 8, so that's what I go till. Yeah. And then I get there at 6:45, 7, and they closed at 6 that day, the normal time, because there wasn't Hero Clicks on Black Friday. And I was like, dude, that's the day that you're having the big sale. You're always open till 8, and you're not open enough. I miss out. I mean, I didn't get half my books because I was planning on getting them half off. So I was gonna wait and get that Fantastic Four half off. And so now I'm behind, and I haven't really read any books. I haven't been able to get books, and I'm bitter about it. So yeah, so gosh darn it.
Oh bother.
Oh bother! I haven't heard that in a few issues.
Last issue, probably. Oh shoot. Anyways, everyone, we are 21 issues deep. We really, really do appreciate the support that we've been getting. A lot of steady viewers, a lot of feedback. We've got some exciting episodes coming up on deck next week. Hopefully this all works out. We got an interview.
Yeah, check it out. We're not doing.
special.
Yeah, we can't devolve too much, but let's just say
It'll be amazing.
tune in next week. It's gonna be really fucking cool. It's gonna be a big step for us. So
Yeah, we're pretty stoked.
this issue is gonna be a pretty big step for us. You'll probably notice some different editing than normal. We got a pro. We hired a pro. We just wanted to go professional, so we're dropping like $6,000 an issue now
He is not a
to
cheap
get an
date.
editor. It's going big time.
But Mr. Skyler is in
But yeah.
charge of the ones and twos.
So you'll see him. He'll put himself in the credits underneath us.
Exactly.
But anyway,
We're gonna get him on an episode sometime too.
all right. Remember, check out InveteratMediaJunkies.com. Remember to hit up the links at the Facebook, a Facebook group, a comic book look at gmail.com, and give us some questions. And
Absolutely. Let us know your feedback on this
Yep.
episode. Any, incidents of racism that you encountered in your readings. Let us know. I'm kind of interested in just kind of seeing what presence it plays.
yeah.
So
But anyway, thanks again, guys. We'll see you next week.
keep it comics.
Hopefully you can't see this hole in my shirt.
I don't see this big stomach.
Hey, quiet in the peanut gallery.